Whether you're done with the Nebula camo grind, finished with all the Easter eggs, or just looking for something to do until the new zombie map releases, these Dark Ops calling card challenges are perfect for you. We'll go through my top 5 choices for the easiest Dark Ops calling cards to get, and I'll be sure to give you a ton of tips to make it a breeze. There's one challenge that almost made me uninstall because I kept making stupid decisions, so I'll make sure you don't make the same mistakes that I did. Let's get into it. By far the quickest calling card on this list to get is, well, that was a waste. This can be done in the first round because all it requires is for you to get down 10 seconds after popping a Perkaholic Gobblegum. Don't make the same mistake I did, which is trying to shoot myself with a rocket launcher because I didn't think about the fact that PhD would block all of the explosive damage. Also, if you have the Dying Wish augment for quick revive, it'll stop you from getting downed and use the perk instead. So make sure you have that unequipped. Also, and this might be kind of obvious, make sure it's equipped before you start the round. Now that we can have 3 starting Gobblegums, this makes it super easy as you don't have to rely on getting it from the machine. Unfortunately, if you don't have any Perkaholic Gobblegums in your inventory, you're not going to be able to do this. So all you can really hope for is getting it as a random Gobblegum reward as you play through zombies. These next 3 calling cards, Sticks and Stones, Invincible, and Harbinger of Doom, can easily be done in the same run. The first one we'll go over is Sticks and Stones, which requires you to reach round 25 only getting kills with melee weapons or combat axes. That means no grenades, no PhD flopper, and no special abilities from the swords, which is something that I messed up early in a round. I chose to go with the cleaver because I didn't really have any progress on my camos done, but you could also go with the knife, the baseball bat, or the drill. You could technically complete this on Liberty Falls or Terminus, but Citadel is going to be the easiest because the wonder weapon is a sword, which counts as melee kills. You can complete as many of the quest steps as you want, but all we care about is getting a stamp so that we can unlock a sword. I'd recommend getting the Lion Sword because you can go through the tasks to make it legendary by only using the cleaver or whatever melee weapon you selected. In one run, I tried to use the Fire Sword, but in order to get it legendary, you have to punch zombies to get your health back as you run back to the castle. This will count as a zombie elimination and not a melee kill and will void your round. Even though the description of the calling card says you can only use melee macchiato, I was able to grab Jug and tier 3 armor plates with no problem. When meleeing zombies, if possible, I would crouch because sometimes you can get critical kills with your melee weapon. If you do get a critical kill, it does not count as a melee kill and will void your round as well. I would definitely run the combat axe, 1 because it's allowed, and 2 it really helps with the flying parasites during the bug rounds. They are so annoying and trying to jump up to melee them is super tedious. Once you have your sword legendary, I'd go back to the Pack-a-Punch room and stand on top of the trap door that sends you down the cave slide. All of the zombies will funnel straight to you, so you can essentially just hold your attack button and they will barely touch you. As you get closer to round 25, you'll start getting the amalgams and multiple doppelgas and might be a little more difficult. This is where I'd utilize your decoys or ether shroud just to get back away from zombies so you can heal up. By using this strat in the Pack-a-Punch room, I was easily able to make it to round 25. I do just want to note that if you're standing up and using the sword, there is a chance that you get a zombie elimination instead of a zombie melee kill. So you need to keep a watch at the kill feed where the points pop up. If you see a zombie elimination come up, you're going to need to restart, which I know is super frustrating. This was the challenge that made me want to uninstall because this kept happening to me. To the point where one time I hit a crawler who was just sitting under a box and it counted as a critical kill, so I had to start over. I promise this is doable, but it can be frustrating at times, so I totally get it. Invincible is pretty straightforward and doesn't have a lot of the restrictions that Sticks and Stones had. All you need to do is get to round 30 without getting down. There's a couple methods you could utilize, but my personal favorite is using the oil trap method that we went over during our camo strat video. If you didn't catch it, that'll be linked at the top of the video. This just requires you to start the oil trap and throw a Molotov in, and then you can just sit back and relax while all the zombies get killed by the fire. You also don't have to utilize Citadel. You could go to Liberty Falls or Terminus if you wanted to just grind for headshots on a favorite spot. As you start to get close to round 30, if you have a ton of essence, you could utilize a mutant injector, chopper gunner, or any other kill streaks if you wanted. Other than that, just continue to grind it out until you get to round 30. After you completed the Invincible calling card, I'd go for the Harbinger of Doom, which just requires 100 kills with a single use of a kill streak. If you still have essence left over, I'd go with a mutant injector because all of the zombies will run after you. I like to throw down a decoy to try to get all of the zombies in one spot and then wait until the last possible moment before starting it. One tip is to put on the Rampage Inducer because it'll bring in so many more zombies, and if the round ends, it'll immediately start the next. This means if there's only 80 or 90 zombies in the round, a bunch more will spawn, hopefully getting you above that 100. If you wanted to use something like the chopper gunner, you could. My only problem is sometimes the zombies go inside, which makes it a little more difficult to get every kill in a round. For the strike calling card, you will need to be on Liberty Falls, and I'll show you where to get all of the shoes in case you've never done it before. To initiate the Easter egg, you'll need to shoot 5 bowling shoes across the map. In the event that you don't get 300 and need to retry, you can go to the bowling shoe that's in the bathroom of the bowling alley and shoot it to restart it. It does take a few rounds to respawn, so continually check back each time a new round starts to see if you can start it again. The first shoe is going to be inside the store at the gas station where you first spawn. The second is going to be in the hardware store across from Ollie's Comics. The third shoe is near the house where you get the handbrake for the jet gun. Go to the back of the graveyard and you'll see a pair of bowling shoes hanging from a tree in the distance. The last pair of shoes is in the church across from the bowling alley. If you've done it correctly, you'll be teleported into the bowling alley where all the zombies will be dancing. The bowling ball will correspond to the color near your name. Pick up the bowling ball and charge it to make sure it goes through multiple zombies at once. The more zombies you hit, the more points you'll get. If you miss 1 or 2, it's not the end of the world, but you're definitely going to want to get some combos. I'd recommend being really patient to make sure that they cross paths so you can get 20s, 30s, and 40s. Even in my run where I got 300 plus, I still missed 1 or 2. I honestly had a blast recording for this video because some of these calling cards I hadn't unlocked yet. There's a bunch of other calling cards to go for, some that are not as easy, so let me know if you have any thoughts for those. If you stuck around the video this long, just know I appreciate you and I hope to see you in the next video.